Hey, I always get asked the same question all the time. How much is your life worth? And I'm going to ask you, how much is your life worth? Is it worth 10,000? Is it worth 20,000? Is it worth 50,000? Is it worth $1 million? Guess what? I got my partner Eddie Gardner here. He's a genius, and he's going to show you not only what your life is worth, but how to be able to get that inside your world. So God forbid, if you did leave this world, your family can get paid all the money that they deserve.
So we're going to talk about today, how do you calculate your life's monetary value? And, we're not talking about, most people will say human life has no, is invaluable, right? Like you can't put a number on it. But did you know there's actually a formula that you can start to think about, because who you have to protect is your family, right? If you're not here, as Rob likes to say, on this mortal coil, you do the shuffle off the mortal coil, well, what happens to your family? Who replaces that income that you were making? Another way to think about it, right, is if you're on the sidewalk and you step off that sidewalk, you get hit by the Pepsi truck, right? How much would your family sue for? And the answer is as much as they possibly could. What's the difference if the Pepsi truck hits you or you just shuffle off this mortal coil on natural causes, right? You still want to make sure that your family has everything they could possibly have. So think about it, right? Take a second, pause the video, and really think about it. Do you know if you're no longer here, will your family have enough to survive? I know the answer to that. I think Rob knows the answer for his family. Right? But do you know the answer for your family?
There's a good chance that you don't know the answer, and this is why you got to listen to what Eddie's about to say next.
There is. And without giving any sort of LIMRA statistics, I know for a fact that the majority of people watching right now are woefully underinsured. And so really what we're going to talk about is, what is the goal of a death benefit, right? Most people think about paying off a certain debt, or maybe taking care of the home and that sort of thing. But no, the number one goal of that death benefit should be to replace your income. So let's think about it, right? How do you calculate the human life value? Well, there's actually a formula to it. And this is what insurance companies use when they try to figure out how much death benefit a person can own. Now, there may be some nuances and ways to get more, right, depending on the amount of growth that you might have later on. But let's just take a very, very simple example, right? Let's say you're 35 years old and you intend to work until age 65, right? So that's 30 years of time. And in that time, you are right now earning $50,000 a year. Your economic value to your family, without any raises, without inflation, without anything else, is $1.5 million. So what that means is that at 35, earning that kind of money, you should have at least $1.5 million of life insurance death benefit to make sure that your family can continue on as if you were still there. We talk a lot about death benefit and life insurance, but what happens if there's the 1,000 or 100,000 other things that may take you out, allow you to no longer work, no longer have that economic value for your family, but still be alive, right? So no death benefit comes into play. Well, that's what disability insurance is for, right? It's to help pick up for your family in the event you have this economic death, right? Where you can no longer work, you can't perform the functions of your job, right? And look at the odds, right? A 20-year-old, it's a 1 in 4 odds. Imagine sitting around the kitchen table with 4 of your, 3 other friends, and one of you will become sick, hurt, injured, and won't be able to work before you reach retirement. Think about those statistics, right? So in that case, what happens to your family and the money that you were earning for your family? All right, so let's take an example here, right? Let's say you're an attorney, right? And attorneys generally do well, earning income, have good, income that they're building for their family and wealth that they're amassing. But some things that attorneys don't think about is, well, what happens if I can no longer practice law, right? A lot of times people think about disability insurance as, I'm in a wheelchair, or, I don't have use of some of my limbs or something like that. So imagine now you're a successful attorney and you have a heart condition, or better yet, right, there's cancer, right? Cancer typically isn't this death sentence that it might have been 20 or 30 years ago. This might be a time where you have to take a break. You need to have chemo and therapy and go through and get yourself back into a place where you're in good health, right? What happens during that time frame? Well, it's not just the loss of your income, right? But there's future loss, because all of this time, you're not building your book of your business. You're not servicing the clients you already have, and they're going somewhere else, right? So by the time you get back to being an attorney, right, and you're healthy enough to practice law again, well, now you have to go back out and build back your business. It would be no different than if you're a real estate agent. It's all the same thing, right? If you have a book of clients that you service and now you can't service them, well, they're going to go somewhere else. And how long will it take you to get back to that level of income you were earning once you're healthy again? Disability insurance can help you not just for the time that you're sick, right, but also past that until you get your income back to the levels that it would have been pre-disability. So who doesn't have to think about disability insurance? Well, let's think about this. If you're a real estate investor and say you have a lot of passive income coming in, that income's going to come in whether or not you're sick or hurt or any of that stuff, right? So if you're a passive, a lot of passive income, maybe you don't need disability insurance. And in fact, a lot of insurance companies, if you have a net worth over $10 million, they won't let you purchase disability insurance. This is the question you need to ask yourself. Do I need it? Do I not need it? And more importantly, not do I need it, but does my family need it, right? And so our job is to really help you figure out not which insurance it is, right? Whole life or term, universal, disability, this, that, the other thing. Really, our job is to teach you first how much you need to protect your family. And then second, how does that fit into your budget overall? And when we understand your budget and your needs, we can build out that plan for you. You might be thinking, oh my gosh, $1.5 million, that's going to cost me way too much. I don't know how this fits into my plan. I don't know what I need. The truth of the matter is that we can sit down and we can go through and figure out that calculation, plug in your numbers and tell you exactly how much death benefit you need, how much disability insurance you can carry, and what that would cost. Most people assume that it's going to cost a whole lot more than it actually does. And a quick little story, I had a family that I helped out a while back, and one thing that I have found out, and it kind of disgusted me with the life insurance industry, is they had $100,000 of life insurance each. Brand new married, home, kid on the way, and the way they figured out the life insurance was a person came and said, here's 6 different companies, choose one, right? No thought, no concept, no nothing, just here, choose one. And the truth of the matter was, what I was able to do was go back, see what they had, figure out their coverage, and give them each $1 million of coverage, and we ended up getting a little bit of life insurance for their newborn child as well, for the same amount of money they were spending for this $100,000 policy on each of them.
Let me just tell you what EPIC actually stands for, which is empower, protect, integrate, and coordinate. And just watching Eddie take you folks through this process, it really puts a lot of fulfillment in our heart, knowing that we could share this information with you and show you how to get exactly what you want, even though you might not understand what that looks like yet. And listen, don't forget to click the link below. One of the team members will sit down and give you a free consultation and really take you through this discovery process. Do yourself a favor and ask yourself a question. What do you think your human life value is? What do you think that, because it could be worth one number today, but also based on your business trajectory, it could be worth something and a bigger number later in the future. And that's why what Eddie shared was so important, because he could really show you scientifically how to create that proper kind of plan. Go ahead, hit that subscribe button, ring that bell, and check out this next video over here.
You want to provoke some thought with them. So think about it. What do you think your life value is? What would you like it to be? Where do you imagine apply what you learned today, and if you want to learn more stuff like that, hit